What's going on, guys? Wanted to do a quick Forex market breakdown, my weekly watch list that I'm going to be looking for this week. Typically, when I'm looking at organizing myself before the week, obviously it's Sunday right now. Markets opened up a few hours ago. I always look through all of the charts, look through all of the pairs, and then I come up with 6 to 10 setups that I think have the highest probability chance or highest probability of success. And so you can see this is my 6 to 10 for the week. Sometimes I only have a couple, 2, 3, 4, maybe here I have 5. It really helps keep myself organized in terms of, just looking at these setups and watching these. Obviously, I'll look around the market towards later in the week, maybe on Wednesday, but this helps really keep me organized so I'm not running around trying to chase every setup or every little move. This helps me stay focused on sort of the bigger picture and, taking the highest probability setups. So here I'm going to start on Great British Pound, Australian Dollar. So we had this large corrective move that has happened. I think it's all the way since January 17th, it looks like. So we've just been moving sideways for quite some time. We did have this impulsing corrective move that came right here. This was kind of the start of looking at bearish outlooks. Once we had a breakout of this, kind of multi-confluence, we had a breakout of this corrective structure here, as well as this entire corrective structure on the bigger picture. So we had a really strong break right here, really strong impulse move. Look at these, these 4 or 5 really strong bearish candles here, bearish engulfing candles. So we had a real nice breakout. And what happens after an impulse? We typically see a corrective move form. So you can see we kind of have one starting to form right here. I'll go down to the lower time frames, head down to the 3-hour so you guys can see it a little better. When we're looking at this impulse, usually we see a corrective structure that might take a while to play out. So what I'm looking for here is just a little more time that's going to be needed, most likely. Maybe tomorrow, which would be Monday, or maybe Tuesday later on in the week. But I want to be patient here. I want to wait for a little more corrective structure to form. And then once we get a breakout of this trend line right here, of this corrective structure, this is where I would look to take a short position here. Just as an example, this would be something I'd be targeting right here. So this one just needs a little more patience. Obviously, corrective structures are where we like to enter unless we get some sort of breakouts. But after impulses, we don't want to be entering. We don't want to enter on these strong candles right here. We want to wait for a corrective move to form. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to be patient. Excuse my little drawings, but I want to be patient here. Let this corrective structure form a bit longer and look for short positions. So the next one, Euro, New Zealand dollar. So right here, you can see we have a really clear rising wedge that has formed, and price had been moving sideways up here for a while. I posted this one on my story and just said, hey, guys, I want to wait till we get some sort of corrective structure after the breakout, just because of this real choppiness, no clear breakouts. So you can see right now we have a breakout of this corrective structure. Also, we have a breakout of this rising wedge. We had a nice impulse, and now hopefully we're looking to form this corrective move before we continue down. So right now you can see obviously we're pushing a little bit higher. I'll zoom in a bit. We're pushing a little bit higher right now, but that's the beauty of this is it doesn't matter if this forecast is wrong, because I wouldn't enter unless we get a breakout of this corrective structure. So if we get a breakout of this, I'll go to the 1 hour. So after our impulse, we're seeing this corrective structure taking place right now. So where I would want to enter is on a break of this corrective structure. If we do something like this, maybe we even move up a little higher. And once we break this level right here, that's where I would want to enter for short positions. So if price ends up from right here continuing to move up, and we actually take out this high right here, then the setup would be invalid, and who cares? I would move on to the next one. So nothing would happen if it moves up. I wouldn't really care. But if I'm looking for a short position here, which I still think is plausible, I would like to wait for a breakout of this corrective structure. Like I said, if we go in and take out this high, this setup would likely be invalid. No trade would be taken. No harm, no foul. But this is where I would like to see, like to get an entry at. So we could, like I said, continue to move up here a little bit more. As long as we don't take out this high, we're good. So that's what I'm looking for. Pretty similar setup to the last one. Some corrective structures taking place. Earlier last week, we had the impulses. And so we were just waiting for these corrective structures to form, which we're seeing a little bit now. So like I said, just got to be patient. Could happen maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, but like I said, waiting to be patient here. But I like this confluence we have with a breakout of the rising wedge, breakout of market structure, clear impulse, corrective move. Even if you put it on the line chart, just so you guys can visualize this better, this is a typical or a textbook setup in terms of market structure break. You can see here we had this higher high over here, higher low, higher high, higher low, and we were forming continuous higher highs and higher lows. But once we got up here, we moved sideways. That shows bulls were losing strength. and we actually had a break of market structure. We had a break of market structure right there, and that indicates that we could be losing this bearish uptrend. So when we lost this previous higher low right here, price started moving down, and we had a strong impulse move. So sometimes I like to just put it on a line chart. It helps clear things up without all of the colors and the wicks and stuff, but just to visualize market structure and what it's really doing. So just another way to look at it, but I do think that we have a good potential for short positions here. This is what I'd be looking for, break out of the corrective structure if it comes. And we could potentially ride this one out for quite some time if all things go well. So let's head to the next one, Euro Canadian dollar. I really like this setup. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'll go here to the 6 hour. Actually, I'll go a little higher so you guys can see this. So on the higher time frames, if we zoom out, we can see really clear head and shoulders, or inverse head and shoulders pattern that's formed right here. We have the left shoulder, the head, and we had a nice strong base here. So that's why it's important to really zoom out. If you were really just kind of hugging the lower time frames on this one, sitting on the 2 hour and you're just focused on what's happening here, you might not see the big picture. But when you zoom out here, you can see, okay, this is a bullish reversal pattern. So what I'd be doing here is I'm looking for some sort of corrective move to form. So similar how the other setups, we have the corrective structures forming right now and we're looking for entries. We don't have anything clear here yet. After an impulse move, we always want to look for a corrective structure to form before, for looking for our entries. So I'm waiting for some sort of higher low to be put in here. We had this impulse in a strong V bottom out. When we have a strong move down like this and we quickly take it back within a matter of days, it shows the bulls are applying a lot of pressure and a lot of strength here. So, it's pretty simple. All I'm looking for is some sort of corrective structure to form in here, form another higher low, and we continue to move to the upside. So, like I said, there's nothing here yet. Price could, very well just continue to just straight line drive up and, we'd be left behind. But if we want to get a good entry here and be patient, we're going to want to wait for some sort of corrective structure to form. So this is EuroCAD, like I said. Higher time frames showing inverse head and shoulders, and lower time frames just waiting for a higher low to be put in, or a corrective form. Let's go. I think we have two more. Very similar setup here. If we zoom out on the higher time frames, we have this higher low that's been put in here. I'll go to the line chart so you guys can see what I'm looking at from market structure perspective. But after we had reversed from here, we broke out of this trend. We had a lower low put in, lower high, lower low, lower high, and so on. And once we had broken this market structure, we had this impulse corrective structure, and then we broke the previous lower high. So market structure has been broken. This till now we can see clearly that this was just a higher low that was put in on the higher time frames. Let me get back to my candles. So this was our first higher low that was put in right here. As I've marked out, this was our first higher low. We have another higher low that's formed here, and pretty clean impulse and corrections, like I said. So this is showing good potential to continue up. So we have this impulse, correction, impulse, larger correction that wasn't as pretty, and then we have another impulse on this breakout. So what I'm looking for is exactly what we looked for here. See, after each one of these impulses, what happened after that? We had these corrective moves form, these sideways movements. And this is where we want to get our breakout entries. This is where we'd want to enter right here. This is where we would have liked to enter here. It didn't catch this one. But that's essentially what we're looking for, the same thing. We're looking for some sideways movement here after this impulse. It's not always going to be this long. It's not always going to drag out like this. It could just be, a quick flag pattern that's right here, and then we get a breakout. So all I'm looking for is a corrective structure to form after our impulse, something like this, a sideways movement, in order to look for long positions. So that one's pretty straightforward, similar to the last setup. Last one we have is USD Swiss franc. So I like this setup in terms of kind of where we're at right now with price structure, but it's only if we get a corrective structure right here. So we can see we have this we have this head and shoulders forming right here. So what I would look for is a corrective structure. If you're a little more risky, or you want to take a lower risk percentage trade, maybe a 0.5% risk on a breakout here. If we do break below this neckline, higher probability trade would be, wait for some sort of smaller corrective structure to form here. But I'm just simply waiting for a breakout right here in a corrective structure. So if price continues to, work its way up and we just continue to move higher, setup will be invalid, no big deal. But what I would be looking for here is a breakout. And I could see the potential of this right shoulder taking a little longer to break out, maybe move up a little bit higher before we move down. But same thing would apply. Waiting for either a breakout or a breakout and corrective structure here on USD Swiss franc. But that's pretty much it. Just wanted to walk you guys through what I'm looking at, some of the top setups. Like I said, I'll peek around the market, maybe around Tuesday, Wednesday, see what's going on. But these are pretty much the main setups I'm looking at going into this week. So should be a good week. I'm excited. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Shoot me a DM on Instagram or comment below. And yeah, let's have a good week.